Alright guys, really quickly we're going to do a quick simple video on my take of writing an impromptu blues turnaround. And now that's an important thing to think about. There are tons of videos on YouTube that can teach you how to play a blues turnaround, and they're all really good. So here's just my take on it, something to think about and execute. Alright, so blues turnaround. Everybody, well, you should know if you're studying blues turnaround what it kind of sounds like. It comes after the 5, boom, ba, ba, da, to the 4, right? And then the 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, the ba ba. That part right there is a blues turnaround. The purpose of a blues turnaround is to keep the music exciting and not stale, because you have the one chord that ends it and then the one chord that starts it. So we put something in between those one chords and we kind of put our own little stamp on it. So from studying, a lot of people know, if we're in the key of A, a lot of people know that standard, that one. And I'm not going to, well, I'm going to address that really quickly, but I'm going to show you what's really going on. In a blues turnaround, and again, so many good lessons. So there, you could just mess around with the pentatonic, and that's not what, like, you can do this. It's legit. You can do that, but we're going to talk about a little bit more spicier one, all right, which I like. So really quickly, if you studied any of my videos, you know that there's some numbers assigned. We're going to be doing this in an A blues. There's some numbers assigned to a pentatonic, all right? You have 1 flat 3 4 5 flat 7, 1 flat 3 4 5 flat 7, and the 1. And what blues turnarounds generally do when impromptu, when I hear them live from my favorite guitar players or yours, we're going to talk about this note right here, the 5. Okay. Usually what they're going to do is they walk down chromatically, step by step. Here's the 5, and then here the flat 5, the blue note, and then the 4, and then down to the major third. So simply, very simply, now we're just constructing this. Usually a blues turnaround is going to have a starting on a 5. Okay, and ending on the major third. And the way they do that is walking chromatically down. Okay, so now here, there's that 5 here. This is the blues turnaround I just talked about. There's this note here is the same as the 5 here. Same note, but they like to have it work with this nice little tiny shape. Okay, so you can hear that. Okay, there's that 5, flat 5, 4, 3. And the reason that we do the major third is because if you look here, there is the last note, and there it is in that 1 chord. Now, this will make sense for a lot of people who've seen a lot of videos on my channel, but this major third is the quintessential note to that first chord. So we bring it in, and we end with it. Ba. So let's work with this really quickly. Every blues turnaround has a beginning part and an ending. So if we use this simple beginning, this is just simple. As a beginning, well, our ending. The ending usually happens on the 5 chord, right? You get this and then bo-do-dome, and we end on the 5. So let's talk about ways we can do the 5 chord. Well, there's so many ways. One of the most easiest and I guess best sounding ways is if you can make a 7th chord like this, and there's my root note, like a C7 shape, but we can play middle finger on the 7, 6th fret, and 7th fret. So you got this right here, and there's your 7th chord on the 5. And what we can do, a lot of people do, is they come up one step above it and they pull it in. So the simplest blues turnaround, this is simple, is going to be, oh, there's my son banging on the wall. Alright, so you have, okay, that's the simplest turnaround that we can possibly do right now. So every one has a beginning and an ending. So let's talk about that. Let's take this beginning part, 5, and we can enhance it. Now what we can do, a lot of people do, is they pick another note, like it's called pedal point, right? Where we're going to pick another note to throw in our chromatic walk down. All I'm doing is picking the 5th note, or the root note. So I have 5, 1, flat 5, 1, 4, 1, major third 1, then the ending. Or I can put a different ending on it. Now, my favorite ending is the augmented chord. Now, a lot of people say, when the heck do you use an augmented chord? Well, it works really well on the 5. Okay, so here's a E augmented, 7, 6, 5, 5. 7, 6, 5, 5. Now this is dark. This is sinister, this is a cliffhanger, and it works really well as a turnaround to help move people back in. So again, my beginning, I'm doing a 5, flat 5, 4, 3, walk down to an augmented chord on the 5, sounds like this. And there it is right there. All right, so now let's talk about another beginning. Again, turnaround's really designed in beginnings and endings. Another ending, you can take the 3 and walk up the 5. All right, in any fashion you want to do, and you can pedal point it, which means you can throw another note in there. Here, like here's that one again. Okay, and so really, when I'm listening to bands play live, that standard turnaround is going from a 5, walking to the flat 5, to the 4, to the 3, and again, you can do it anywhere if you listen quickly. Again, we're just talking about the beginning portion. Here's a 5, and that's legit. And here's my root note here. So 5, 4, sorry, 5, flat 5, 4, 3 in the pentatonic, if you see my blues scale videos. So now I can, here's my root note here. Here's a root note, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1. That's my root note. So I can do this. Okay, and you get this nice little chord right there. Now that's a deeper turnaround, right? A little deeper. You can do it like that, but it's really deep. And you can walk it up, bop, bop, bom. That's another ending. So when you're writing a blues turnaround, it's about having 2 parts to conquer. The beginning part, the usual chromatic walk down from a 5 to a 3, or from a 3 up to a 5, and then putting an ending on it, which happens on the 5 chord. So let's talk about another ending here. So you have this augmented. Right, for an ending, you have this pull in from the chord above it, and we have the one that I just showed you, where you can take a power chord, you can take a 7th chord, and you can walk it forward to the 5. All right, so those are your endings, and I'm back. All right, sorry, quick break. All right, so what we just accomplished is the mental notes. You have to remember you have a beginning and an ending. And we did a couple of beginnings, we did a couple of endings. As long as you can understand that you have walks from 5s down to major thirds, or thirds up to 5s with anything you want to throw in the middle, plus the endings usually are some type of 5 chord moved into it or rearranged. Hopefully you understand 2 parts you can think of, so it gets quite entertaining in the head. So really quickly, I just want to address the issue of, I opened up the video talking about, doing a pentatonic turnaround, where you're coming down and you play pentatonics. And that was my beginning, and then I put that ending on there like. All right, so now the question is, not question, but the example is, now you can, if you get quicker and quicker, the pentatonic is very useful for a turnaround, really is, but you can combine now the pentatonic riff with the walk down to get a little bit more pizzazz. Now you got to be a little bit quicker, but I'm going to slow it down. So you can start off, you can make your beginning a little bit of pentatonic and a little bit of chromatic. So there, I threw in my pentatonic riffery, and then I grab that 5, and then I put my ending on. Another example, let's see. Oh, I messed up there. Let's try it again. That was going to be really good, too. There it is. I got a little choke, but you can hear it. You can kind of mess around on your pentatonic. Get in that sound that we like. The pentatonic sounds good. Then throw in. Now let's try. I'm going to try the 3, 4, 5, 5. That's another one, right? There's your major third. There's your 4. There's your flat 5. There's your 5. So I'm going to try and throw this guy, and there's my root note here. That's going to be hard, but I'm going to try and throw it in. You got to entertain yourself. Let's see. Pentatonic first. Ooh, that was good. So a little bit of pentatonic mastery, not mastery, really self-flattery, really pentatonic riffery. And then I did my 3, 4, 5, 5, sorry, 3, 4, flat 5, 5, and then I put this little ending on it. I'm going to try the same thing with an augmented. Let's see what we got. It's a little sloppy, but that's what the blues is. That's true. So anyway, the point is that once you start to master this feeling of the 5 to the flat 5 to the 4 to the 3, you don't have to be so strict about putting it in. You can play a little pentatonics and then you can kind of dance on it. So I guess this whole entire lesson is about blues turnarounds can be, or definitely most definitely in two separate portions. The beginning portion, which can have a walk down or walk up from the 5 down to the major third, or the major third up to the 5. And then an ending, which is some sort of hit on that 5 chord, and we've done an augmented chord. We've pulled it in from 1 fret above, and we've walked it from the 4 to the 5. So as you play blues, and this is transferable to any key, you can do it in G, A, anywhere you are. As you practice this, just get your chops better. Try on the impromptu to throw these lines in, create some stuff. And rule number 1 is, pentatonics always sound good. So if you're going fast and you want to try to do this, and you want to do a pedal point, you want to do just stick to the notes in the pentatonic. Or that was another pentatonic note. I'm talking too much. I hope that made sense. I hope it brings a little bit of flair to your turnarounds if you didn't know it already. But best of luck. More StichMethod coming soon. Bye.